Good afternoon and welcome to today's NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Tuesday, the 5th day of January in the year of our Lord 2021. And so the lies from the left continue as we Americans, finally awake, watch the atrocities from the left, especially there in Georgia, while the left continues to lie unabated by the revelations of the lies that they are continuing to tell. From Breitbart News comes today's update. Seems now bad old Kamala is lying too, using words from Martin Luther King as her own. Folks, this is part of the danger that America is now facing. A little noticed anecdote that Senator Kamala Harris, Democrat of California, told Elle in October has gone viral, thanks to its fantastical premise that she was a civil rights champion even as a small child. And it is likely cribbed from a story recounted by Martin Luther King Jr. In October, Elle published this passage. Senator Kamala Harris started her life's work young. She laughs from her gut the way you would with family as she remembers being wheeled through an Oakland, California civil rights march in a stroller with no straps with her parents and her uncle. At some point, she fell from the stroller. Few safety regulations existed for children's equipment back then, and the adults, caught up in the rapture of the protest, kept on marching. By the time they noticed little Kamala was gone and doubled back, she was understandably upset. Quote, "My mother tells the story how I'm fussing. And she's like, 'Baby, what do you want? What do you need?' And I just looked at her and said, 'Freedom,'" unquote. That ripping good yarn bears a striking resemblance to the portion of a Playboy interview with Martin Luther King Jr. from January of 1965. In it, Alex Haley asked King, as the universally acknowledged leader of the American Civil Rights Movement, if he ever felt awed by this burden of responsibility or inadequate to its demands. King replied in part, "I subjected myself to self-purification, to endless self-analysis. I questioned and soul-searched constantly into myself as to be certain as I can that I am fulfilling the true meaning of my work, and that I am maintaining my sense of purpose, that I am holding fast to my ideals, and that I am guiding my people in the right direction. But whatever my doubts, however heavy the burden, I feel that I must accept the task of helping make this nation and this world a better place to live in for all men, black and white alike." I will never forget a moment in Birmingham when a white policeman accosted a little Negro girl, 7 or 8 years old, who was walking in a demonstration with her mother. "What do you want?" the policeman asked her gruffly, and the little girl looked straight at him in the eye and answered, "Feed 'em." In the same Elle interview, Harris recounted an alleged exchange with her 7-year-old grandson. "Auntie Kamala, they're not going to let that man win, are they? And you know, the baby's in your life," she claimed, she said. According to the magazine, she closed her eyes and swallowed. "I held him. I mean, it still brings me pain to remember how he felt and how it made me feel, which is that I needed to protect this child. I had one way in my mind I thought the evening would go, and there was the way it turned out," she told the magazine. "And so by the time I took the stage, I had ripped up my notes, and all I had was Alexander in my heart. And I took the podium and said, 'I intend to fight, I intend to fight,'" Harris said. Elle reported, "If there's anything we can know about Senator Kamala Harris, it's that when it comes to freedom, she will fight. No, she'll fight to take your freedoms away." And now to remove the liberal blindfold here, folks. Even though she is now supposedly the vice president-elect, she has not given up her post in the Senate. Why? Because, for one thing, she didn't win. They didn't win. But it's like I said in yesterday's really late update, cowardice and lying are also contagious. If you tell the truth, you may even lose friends, but you will be right in the eyes of God. But if you tell a lie enough times, it will be perceived as the truth, even though it is still a lie, and God will see what you are doing. That is lying. What we have to do now with the left is they are constantly lying about almost everything, and no one is doing anything about it. The problem with all this, folks, is the people who get all their news from the lamestream lying media, which most all Democrats and sadly many Republicans do, they do not ever get this kind of news because the media will not report it. One of the reasons that this update and others like it, along with Breitbart News, One America News, and others, are so important to saving this nation from the left's socialistic ideals that are intent on destroying this nation's constitution and all of our freedoms, is that we put out the news. We put out the news that the lamestream lying media will not. If I had told you in 2019 that in a year we would all be locked down in our homes and told that we had to wear masks to even go to the store and that our freedoms would be thusly curtailed by the government, we would have all laughed and said, that is insane. Not in America. But look around, my friends. We are now experiencing that, and the so-called science the left and our government is using to keep us locked down, it has been proven false, and still our governments, like the one here in New Mexico, keep locking us down, keeping us locked down, but no one is saying anything about it. On my show on Saturday, I talked of a mega church here in Albuquerque called Legacy, who is being fined by the governor for not conforming to her orders. The church has been fined $10,000. And in the service Sunday, the pastor told the congregation that they are not paying it. This is something we all need to start doing to end this tyranny against the freedom of the people. It is imperative that we do this, or our freedoms will continue to be taken away, and that they will be taken away daily, folks. Thank you all for listening and watching, and I will be back tomorrow with the next installment of NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold, with the voice of reason in this increasingly unreasonable world, from behind the silver microphone of freedom, brought to you through Conservative Nation Media, the place where America always wins. And remember, if we want our freedoms, we have to fight. Some of us are, and the rest are just waiting around to see what will happen. Not a thing to do, folks. And what will happen has been chronicled here on NWCR Radio and NWCR's Removing the Liberal Blindfold over the last years, where we always say we will not be ruled. I'm sorry that yesterday's update was so late. I had to essentially rebuild my hard drive's files because of something that happened, and I had to erase the whole thing and rebuild. That includes this update. But God bless you all, and I'll see you all again tomorrow.